In the Children at Risk segment tonight, as if you didn't have enough to worry about when it comes to your kids, internet porn, corrupting rap music, and violent video games, now there's Barbie. That's right, Barbie, all decked out in next to nothing. And she's not the only one raising eyebrows. Her best friend Midge, who's very pregnant, has just been pulled off of Walmart shelves. Oh boy. Here to share their insight on Mattel's new line of Barbie dolls is social activist and Daily Show correspondent Rocca. And from Portland, Oregon, Wendy Wright, Senior Policy Analyst for Concerned Women for America. Welcome to you both. Wendy, let me begin with you out there in Portland. Some of our liberal friends say, look, what's the big deal over sex? You got war dolls out there, you got Terminator dolls, you got dolls that teach boys to kill and blast away other people. What's the big deal? Let's start with Lingerie Barbie. What's the big deal with that?
Well, let's look at how it's marketed. It's telling kids to be flirtatious and sassy, and the kind of clothes, well, lack of clothes that this doll is wearing really shows that the only market for this doll is people who want to sexualize kids. No responsible parent would want to give their child this doll. So what is the name that we call someone who wants to sexualize kids? It's pedophiles. This is a tool to try and role model to kids how to end up being victims to molesters.
Mr. Rocca, what about that? Was that on your Christmas list? Did you want one of those things to play with?
Look, I didn't want one, but we have to remember Barbie has been a feminist icon for almost 40 years. She's performed all different sorts of jobs, from flight attendant to beautician to fashion model. But we live in a post-feminist era now where women don't have to hide their sexuality. They need to embrace it because therein lies their power. And the fact is, little boys play with dump trucks, little girls play with lingerie.
Yeah, but dump trucks don't have garter belts. I mean, come on, let's be honest about this.
But it's very important. I mean, my question to Wendy and the Concerned Women of America is, would you rather that your daughter pretend to be a hooker or a crack whore, or would you rather that she actually be one? At least Lingerie Barbie allows her to fantasize, because it's natural for little girls to fantasize, to bump and grind, to pretend that they're hookers.
Well, I got to tell you, Mr. Rocca, I mean, I got two daughters, and to my knowledge, now, you know, they didn't always have their bedroom doors open at all times, but I wasn't aware. We never had any dinner table conversations about being a hooker or bumping and grinding. How about you, Wendy? Was that true in your house growing up? Were you, bumping and grinding at the age of 8 and 10 years old, fantasizing about being a hooker?
Yeah, fantasizing is the first step toward doing it. And really, what parent would want a role model to their child?
Well, it's a choice that you're going to.
Wendy, what parent would want their child to have as a profession?
Wendy, you know that if you suppress these natural instincts that little girls have, that they're going to sublimate themselves in very dangerous ways, in very destructive ways.
You have to wonder how can you possibly think that little girls think this way? The only people who think that children think this way is someone who wants to sexualize a child.
It's natural for an 8-year-old girl to want lingerie, to want to marry Widow Bustier, to bump and grind.
Well, let me ask you a question about this, because Mattel, which has had the copyright and made Barbie for 40-plus years now, says that it's marketing it to girls 14 years old and up. Now, how many 14, 15-year-old girls want to play with dolls at all? Aren't they beyond that?
Look, we had to pull back and look at this as a real human issue. There are many countries on this planet, Indonesia, Zambia, Canada, where girls marry and have children as early as 12 or 13. And in that way, I think that Lingerie Barbie could, in fact, be a marital aid. It's a way to help improve their sex lives. So it's serving a practical function on a lot of different levels. And I think that Wendy would agree with that, yes?
Absolutely not. What you're saying is that little girls should be used for sex. This is really actually quite disturbing that you're arguing this. Pedophilia is illegal, and there's a good reason for it. Children are not ready. They're not mature enough for this. Their bodies, neither their bodies or emotionally.
And that's why girls need to be empowered and use Lingerie Barbie in the way that they want to, and not to be told by other people how to use it, because they're just going to go back and do it on their own otherwise, and it's dangerous.
Why would you even give a child a doll like this?
Let's let that question hang for a moment, because I want to go over to Midge, her friend, who has been called the pregnant Barbie. Now, do you have any objection to this, Wendy? She has a wedding ring. In doll history, she was married, I think, in 1991, and she already has a 3 or 4-year-old child, and now she's pregnant again. Is this a good thing, even though Walmart pulled it off the shelf?
You know, this is something that if they were going to sell it, they should sell it as a set, as a family set. Shouldn't be selling it separate. You know, you have to wonder, why don't they then end up selling the two dolls together? And you could have, instead of an age restriction, have a marital restriction. These dolls can only be given to married adults.
Well,
and have instructions that say, if you wear this, you can end up like that.
Let's be serious. The problem with Midge, or whatever her name is I don't know who she is, but presumably she's Barbie's age, around 17. She already has 2 kids. The woman is abnormally fertile, and there's no economic.
There's normal fertility?
No, she's freakishly fecund, if you want to put it that way.
Well, maybe you left us out to have abortion, Barbie.
Well,
that's what you're headed toward.
Well, Cal, let me tell you, the politicization of Barbie in this way means that if you have this Barbie who just keeps blithely spitting out little rugrats like this, then you're going to now have to have Planned Parenthood Barbie, and then you're going to have like a Right to Life Barbie, and then a Right to Life Barbie that then kills abortionist Barbie. It's a slippery slope. It's a really bad situation. But I want to ask Wendy,
we can't have the guest asking questions. We got to take a break. I thank you both for coming in. Wendy in Portland, thanks very much. And I got to go ask Mattel why they're marketing this to 14-year-old girls. But thanks very much, Mr. Rocca, for coming.